Hey everybody, today's video is all about the new Britney Spears perfume. This is called Cosmic Radiance and it's my new favourite perfume. And look how pretty she looks. Today's look is kind of inspired by the look that Britney has. This is the container. Isn't it so pretty? It's just got like gems and stuff all over it. The scent is a much kind of more mature scent than a lot of the other scents that she's had. If you're a fan of Britney Spears perfumes, like all of them, this is kind of like a combination of everything. It's kind of got that mustiness that you get from Curious, you know, the Curious scents, but it also has a little tiny bit of kind of a fruitiness. It's got like pear in there and a little hint of vanilla, which is kind of similar to the fantasy, like Hidden Fantasy, which were my huge favorite ones. I absolutely adore them for the longest time. So it's kind of a mixture of those all combined into one. It's a little bit more of a mature scent and I absolutely love it. If you want to see how I did this look, then just keep watching. So I've already done this side of my face. I'm going to show you guys how to do it on the other. La 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 la. The first thing that we're going to apply on the lids is Candlelight, and it looks like this. Basically any type of light cream product would work really well. I'm going to use my ring finger just to apply it because it's a cream product, it works a little bit better if you just kind of blend it in with your fingertips. We're going to start by placing this on the inner portion of the eye, and I'm only using a very, very small amount. This is basically just putting down as a base so that our light colours show up more. You're only going to bring it in about halfway across the eye. Then I'm going to take whatever's left over on my hand and just work it underneath. You can do this with your ring finger, but it kind of gets all over the place, so you're better off using a brush or a sponge tip applicator if you have one as well. This is a very typical look of Britney's where it's quite light and then it's quite dark. On the outer portion of the eye, I'm going to be taking Bronzed, which is an absolutely gorgeous colour. Once again, I use my ring finger. You always start off by applying the light colour and then use the darker colour so you don't end up mixing it. And that's what that one looks like. Just going to dab this on the outer portion of the eye, very gently, and then just hitting the brow bone very slightly. Don't worry if it's kind of messy and it looks weird because we are going to be blending it. You can fill in any gaps that you have using a brush, but I just like using my fingertips to start with because I find that you kind of blend the product in so you get kind of a better texture. This is just going over slightly halfways, meeting that nice kind of light silvery colour. Now, don't worry about underneath the eye because we'll do that in a few minutes, but we're going to start by using the shadows. This is the palette that I've created for this look. So the first shade we're using is this colour, which is called Bark. And I take this onto a flat brush. You could also use a sponge tip applicator. This is going very gently over the top of that silver shade. Very gently blending it in. Next we're going to move on to using a coppery kind of colour. This is actually called Mocha. It's this nice kind of coppery brown. Taking that onto a flat brush, I'm going to start in the outer portion of the eye and dabbing this on. So it's going over the top of the bronze shade that we first put on. Starting in the lash line and work your way up. And then I'm just going to gently hit into the crease. Now I'm going to take the slightly darker colour, and this is called Moondust. And this is going just on the outer portion of the eye and then into the crease. But it's not really going any higher than that. Now I'm going to take a dab of the Mocha and a little bit of the Moondust onto a fluffy brush. Starting on the outer portion of the eye, I'm going to blend this in a windscreen wiper motion. So it's going above in the crease and just blending back and forth. And you should be getting a shape that's similar to this. Now I'm going to take a clean fluffy brush, and this is the Sigma E25, and I'm just going to blend the outer kind of bit of that colour, so it's just blending very nicely and it doesn't look too intense. So it should just blend and smoke out. Now we're going to work underneath the eye. I'm going to be taking Bronzed again onto my flat brush, and this is just going to be worked right underneath the lashes. Britney tends to bring this in quite close to where her lashes kind of stop, so it's just about there. And then you can just blend it up a little bit into that outer part of the eye up above. We're going to go over that with a mixture of Moondust and Mocha. Dabbing it over the top of that cream shadow. The trick to make sure that your eye makeup always looks its best is to place your brush alongside the edge of your nose and the edge of your eye. Everything down here needs to be gone. So it needs to be lifted and brought upwards. You want to curl your lashes, and then we're just going to add some mascara. On the rest of the face, it's kept very, very subtle. There's not much kind of blush or anything going on. She doesn't tend to wear too much blush to begin with. So I'm going to be using a bronzer and a highlighter. I'm going to take a little bit of the bronzer and just gently work this just underneath our cheekbones. This is just going to emphasize them a little bit more. So I'm just going to run it underneath there. You can smile and just get that kind of hollow. And then just do little circular motions to blend. I'm also going to do just alongside the top of the forehead. She kind of has a high forehead like I do, so we're just going to camouflage it a little bit. Now to really add some highlight, I'm going to take the very, very highlighted shade here, and this is just going to go along the top of our cheeks like this. So we've got our bronzer and we've got our highlighter. And just to add a little bit extra, I found this absolutely gorgeous colour, and this is Peachy Keen by e.l.f. and it is beautiful. And it's just a really nice kind of peachy colour set with a little bit of kind of a gold kind of fleck in it, like a pinky gold fleck. And I'm just going to put this onto our cheeks. It's one of their blushes and it's just very subtle hint of blush. And instead of putting it on the apples, I'm actually just putting it a little bit lower and kind of blending it into our bronzer. Now I love this colour so much that I'm going to take my fluffy brush, take a little bit of it, and I'm just going to push this just on the outer part of our colour. Kind of blends everything together anyway, because it's that kind of peachy, bronzy with a little bit of gold in it. Could actually even put a little bit in the centre, just so it hits the light. You can see that kind of gold fleck that's running through. That is the Peachy Keen. On the lips, it's kept really peachy as well, so I'm going to be using Fragile Pink by NYC. And because I love the colour so much again, I'm going to take a little bit of my Peachy Keen and just dab that over the top. And there you go, that is our Cosmic Radiance inspired look. Really hope you enjoyed it. I'm Shana Katie and thanks for watching.